Hello everyone, I'm Singbe Park, a philosopher of science at UNIST, Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology. In this video, I briefly summarize Chapter 3 of my book, Embracing Scientific Realism. The target viewers of this video are the philosophers of science who have already published and aim to publish more on scientific realism. Scientific anti-realism is any position that opposes scientific realism. Scientific anti-realists typically claim our best scientific theories are false, they are unwarranted, they are merely useful, they are merely empirically adequate, they will be abandoned, it is rational to disbelieve them, we cannot justifiably believe them, we should be skeptical that theoretical entities exist. In this chapter, I raise various objections to scientific anti-realists. Let me begin with the pessimistic induction over anti-realist explanations. Ever since realists advanced the realist explanation of the success of science, anti-realists have been proposing anti-realist explanations of the success of science. There are 9 such explanations in the literature. I exposed intrinsic problems with 8 of them, but not with the latest one, and then predicted it will suffer a similar fate, i.e., it will turn out to be problematic. Some philosophers distinguish between distant past theories and recent past theories. Distant past theories were abandoned before the 20th century, but recent past theories, such as the oxygen theory and evolutionary theory, haven't yet been abandoned. This historical fact entitles us to construct a pessimistic induction over pessimists. It holds that since recent past pessimists were wrong about the theories of their time, present and future pessimists are also wrong about the theories of their times. Anti-realists made many philosophical mistakes, as we have seen in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. For example, some anti-realists put forward the argument from a bad lot without being aware that it has the intrinsic flaw of drawing a normative conclusion from a possibility premise. So we can construct a pessimistic induction over anti-realists, according to which, since anti-realists made many philosophical mistakes, they must be making philosophical mistakes now. Many philosophers think that we can use a scientific theory to explain phenomena, even if we don't believe it. In my view, however, we cannot use a scientific theory to explain phenomena if we don't believe it. Anti-realists don't believe a scientific theory, and thus they cannot use it to explain phenomena. If they use it to explain phenomena, they run into the 3 problems, namely Moore's paradox, the problem of disconcerting questions, and the problem of deceptive speech acts. Let me expound these 3 problems one by one. Let me begin with Moore's paradox. Moore's paradox occurs when we say the sentence of the form P, but I don't believe P. Anti-realists would be caught in Moore's paradox if they said, an apple falls down due to gravitational force, but I don't believe an apple falls down due to gravitational force. Anti-realists say an apple falls down due to gravitational force to explain why an apple falls down. They add, but I don't believe an apple falls down due to gravitational force because they are anti-realists, i.e., because they don't believe the law of gravity is true. Suppose that anti-realists say an apple falls down due to gravitational force, but they don't add, but I don't believe an apple falls down due to gravitational force, because they hate to be caught in Moore's paradox. In my view, however, another problem arises. Suppose their explainees know that they are anti-realists, then they would ask anti-realists some disconcerting questions, namely, do you believe what you just said? If you don't, why should I believe what you don't? How can you say to me what you don't believe? Do you expect me to believe what you don't? Thus, the problem of disconcerting questions arises. What if anti-realist explainees don't know that explainers are anti-realists? In my view, anti-realist speech acts mislead their explainees into believing what anti-realists don't believe. For example, if anti-realists say an apple falls down due to gravitational force, their explainees would assume that anti-realists believe that an apple falls down due to gravitational force. As a result, their explainees might believe that an apple falls down due to gravitational force. Anti-realists are propagating to others what they don't believe, and the problem of deceptive speech acts arises. Anti-realist speech acts are immoral because they disregard their epistemic colleagues' desire to acquire truth and avoid errors. Anti-realists don't believe that theoretical events occur, so they wouldn't be motivated to explain why they occur. For example, they wouldn't be motivated to give the explanation that a proton has mass because it interacts with the Higgs field. Nor would they be motivated to predict theoretical events. For example, they wouldn't be motivated to predict that if the Higgs fields were turned off, a proton would become massless and travel at the speed of light. By contrast, realists believe that theoretical events occur, so they would be motivated to explain why they occur and predict when they will occur. So realists can say to anti-realists, I believe more, therefore I progress more. Suppose anti-realists develop positive theories, whatever they are. It would be a double standard for anti-realists to believe their own theories, and they ought not to believe their own theories. If they disbelieve their own theories, their epistemic colleagues would be less likely to believe their theories, and thus anti-realists would be less likely to spread their theories to their epistemic colleagues. Epistemic reciprocalism asserts that we ought to treat our epistemic colleagues as they treat their epistemic colleagues ceteris paribus. Realists believe others' theories, so epistemic reciprocalists believe realists' positive theories. Anti-realists disbelieve others' theories, so epistemic reciprocalists disbelieve anti-realist positive theories. Epistemic egoists believe their own theories, but disbelieve others' theories. In response, epistemic reciprocalists believe their own theories, but disbelieve epistemic egoists' theories. Epistemic reciprocalists have a slogan, believe me, I'll believe you. Anti-realists' positive theories won't be believed by epistemic reciprocalists. This epistemic disadvantage might be accompanied by a pragmatic disadvantage. Imagine, for example, that anti-realists have a positive theory, and it is virtuous. So they are confident that it is true, and they apply for a scholarly award. The award committee, however, rejects their application, saying they disbelieve anti-realist theory. And they have a regulation according to which they should believe a theory in order to grant an award to the author of the theory. Empiricism asserts that successful theories are empirically adequate. Empiricism is subject to the problem that I call the problem of unobserved anomalies. It holds that past theories had unobserved anomalies, although they appear to be empirically adequate. So present theories have unobserved anomalies, although they appear to be empirically adequate. If the problem of unconceived alternatives poses a threat to scientific realism, the problem of unobserved anomalies poses a threat to empiricism. Constructive empiricism is widely regarded as a form of anti-realism. It says, science aims to give us theories which are empirically adequate, and acceptance of a theory involves as belief only that it is empirically adequate. For Van Fraassen, acceptance of a theory involves a commitment to confront any future phenomena by means of the conceptual resources of this theory. Consequently, constructive empiricism asserts that acceptors of a theory, i.e., those who decided to use a theory for scientific purposes, believe that the theory is empirically adequate. In other words, constructive empiricism attributes the belief that a theory is empirically adequate to acceptors of the theory. Scientists are the prominent acceptors of a theory, so constructive empiricism attributes the belief that a theory is empirically adequate to scientists. How do I respond to constructive empiricism? It implies that acceptors of a theory run into the three problems, namely Moore's paradox, the problem of disconcerting questions, and the problem of deceptive speech acts. Other things being equal, we shouldn't attribute problems to our target agents. Gap anti-realists are those who try to fend off criticisms leveled at them by saying there is a gap between what they say and what they believe. How do I respond to gap anti-realists? Suppose they published a book. In the front cover, there should be a caveat, namely, there is a gap between what I say and what I believe. If there is such a caveat, however, readers will be less motivated to read the book. Imagine now that gap anti-realists are professors teaching philosophy courses to undergraduate students. After the final exam, their students complain about their grades, saying there was a gap between what they wrote and what they thought. Gap anti-realists cannot say to their students, professors go by what students wrote, not what they thought. So they have no choice but to raise their grades. I just summarized Chapter 3 of my book, Embracing Scientific Realism. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.